Have you ever heard the phrase, there's no bad weather, only bad clothing? Well, the Polestar 2 takes this philosophy to heart with its Scandinavian roots. And I'm here to tell you there's been no wilder week to test that philosophy. We've had across the nation frigid temperatures, road closures, snow, avalanches, ice storms, you name it. And the Polestar 2 is an EV. So with all the questioning going on in this type of weather about how EVs handle those kinds of situations, I'm excited to tell you more about the 2024 Polestar 2 and how well it performs in regular weather, but also in this crazy 2024 winter. The 2024 Polestar 2 starts at $53,000. Give or take. Now that's for a single motor version of the car. This one happens to be a dual motor long range version of the car. So that's going to get you around 270 miles on a single charge. This one also has the performance pack, which gives you the 20-inch wheels, the Brembo brake calipers that are so cool. If you can see that, I'll get a close up in a minute. They're kind of a yellowy gold and add a really great pinch of color to this beautiful car. The other thing you'll want to know is that this car does not qualify for federal tax credits. So you're going to have to look for maybe dealership incentives to get any sort of discount on the Polestar 2 if you were hoping that that was going to be part of your purchasing journey. So let's talk about what's new for 2024. The most notable thing on the front of the car is that this grille is body color now right here, where it used to be a black grid. It was kind of a matte black and gloss black grid, and that's changed now. It's the body color of the car, which is so pretty. And of course you have the Polestar logo, the camera and radar. You do still have some of the black gloss accents that have been on the front of the car since the beginning, but moving around, you can see we still have the very cool LED headlights that look so sharp and kind of race inspired. And you have these cool details. They're not really air vents, they're fog lights, but it kind of mirrors the shape of the headlights. And then these wheels and tires come on. Let's just take a little look at those. This is part of the performance package, so you're not going to get these on the base model of the Polestar 2, but boy, if you spring for these, you'll get looks around town for sure. How great are these LED tail lights? I mean, in the real world, you're not seeing the blinking that you'll catch in this video here, but I love how distinctive it is. And you know, you won't see anything that looks like this out on the road. It kind of reminds me of that. Do you guys remember that video game called Berserk? Well, anyway, it kind of reminds me of that, but that is one of my favorite parts about this whole car. It just looks so sleek and sharp out on the road. So the Polestar 2 is super sharp, and what I love is that it's got a lot more sculpting and creased metal than most EVs you see out there. It's a little less curvy. It's got some sharper creased metal to it, which has a really nice kind of traditional car look, and I like that. And the other thing that's cool is that the Polestar 2 is a sportback. So actually, the trunk opens up, and it's not a trunk, it's a hatch. So you have a lot of storage space and a very cool kick to open feature, which I'll show you here right now. I will forever love a kick to open feature, which just requires that you step up to the car, swipe your foot under it, and the trunk or the hatch will open. And here you can see the amount of space you have here in the back of the Polestar 2. I actually went and picked up some skis and folded the seats flat, and both pairs of skis fit. And I actually also threw some groceries in there. You can definitely go on your ski trip and throw some bags in there with your Polestar 2. All right, friends, we've gotten to about 40 degrees, so I'm feeling confident in my, my weather clothing prep. I think Polestar would be proud. But one of the things I wanted to point out was the badging on the Polestar. You see it's got the Polestar logo on the back, but you would have no idea what model this was. So here you have the logo, but you have no other evidence about what kind of car this is, or specifically what model it is, until you get over here to this little badge over here, part in the dirt. But that'll tell you what it is. And then there's just a nifty little seal on the front. So there you go. Let's hop in the front seat and see what's going on. Again, we have the cool seat belts. The seat pattern is perfection. It's hard to see it, but there is a little light projection there on the glass moonroof. the Polestar logo. We've got a little wireless charging pad and charge ports here. You can plug in your phone for Apple CarPlay connectivity, so that's cool. And let me get this screen going and I can show you some of the things about the screen and the multimedia system in the Polestar. So this is the screen that pops up when you press the car icon there. And the cool thing is that in the Polestar, you can adjust your steering feel, which is nice. You can go into sport mode, which is going to greatly decrease your range, but it sure is fun. You have the one pedal drive and creep mode for when you're in traffic. So for those of you not familiar with the one pedal drive, that basically means you can accelerate and brake. You accelerate when you put your foot on the accelerator when you press down, and then when you lift off, it actually slows the car down. So that's something kind of cool. And there's something that I want to tell you about that with the snow, which is cool. The Polestar 2 has some driver assist systems that are great to use. There's adaptive cruise control, and the thing that's neat about that is you can choose whether or not you want to use the adaptive cruise control or if you just want regular cruise control, if you're not a fan of, if you have trust issues with adaptive cruise control, you're not quite sure it's going to stop the car when you want it to, that kind of thing, you can use just traditional cruise control, which is nice. It's got lane keep assist, which keeps you inside your lane, which is nice. It's got a steering assist feature. You know, you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel in that case. And, you know, sometimes some people feel like there's just a little too much tug of war between themselves and the car. And again, the Polestar gives you that option in their menus. Here, I'll show you. Here you can see, you can select the type of notification, what kind of assistance you get in your lane keep assist. In your adaptive cruise control, you can just select regular cruise control, which is a nice option for people who don't like adaptive cruise control systems. So that's cool. Driver alert, one of my all-time favorites, road sign information. That'll give you the speed limit and any sort of other stuff you need to be aware of. And that'll show in the driver information display here too when you're driving. So this also, as you can see, it's got the collision avoidance system. So that's cool. Yay. Yay, Polestar. So one of the things that I have had to remember in this whole process is where the climate control is, because as I mentioned, it's been freezing, so literally freezing and below freezing. So I've had to kind of remember where all those buttons are because it feels like I'm never warm enough. That's there. And then you can just click on there and go to auto and get it going. And of course, you have all of your other options down here at the bottom that you would want quick access to. My favorite being the heated steering wheel, and I love that you have different levels of heat on your heated steering wheel, and I'll tell you, it gets pretty toasty. And they do give you a few quick buttons in the Polestar just for volume control and as you can see, defrost for getting your car de-iced and get your visibility going ASAP. We have one cup holder here, but then there's another super secret cup holder back here. Now, what you'll notice though is contrary to a lot of electric vehicles, there's just not as much storage in here. Sorry, it's so dirty. But there's just not as much storage as I would expect. All right, let's just take a moment to appreciate all of the fit and finish details in the Polestar. I love that it's got many different materials, even just on the door there, which I have been given to understand are made out of recycled materials, so that's very cool. We've got the very modern and upscale looking wood grain, and of course the vents with the fun toggles to direct the airflow. It's just so nice. I mean, you can tell that this car has been put together with some attention to detail, and they want you to feel like it is a luxury car. Let's talk about the back seat of the Polestar 2 for just a minute, because I'm a little confused. It's an electric car, but it still has this hump in the back, which usually doesn't happen with EVs. So I'll do some homework and get back to you guys when I can on that. But this is what I love. These seats are Nappa leather, which is an upgrade, so adding more to the price. But I love the seat belts, the yellow seat belts, and the cool details on the seats. I love that design. It's very cool. Now you do have heated seats back here for your rear passengers and vents, which is nice. You have some nets on the backs of the seats and kind of shallow bottle holders slash cup holders. So storage, Might leave a little to be desired if you're someone who's into carrying a bunch of liquids around all the time. But otherwise, I mean, gosh, this beautiful space. Look at that. Sitting in the back seat of the Polestar 2 is a reminder that it is a smaller car. It is not an SUV or a crossover. If you're looking for those kinds of proportions, you're going to want to look elsewhere. This is a more compact car, and while I am 5'5" and completely comfortable in the back seat, I have plenty of headroom and legroom with the front seat adjusted to a driver my size driving. If you're looking for more room in the back seat, you might want to look at something else. But the appointments are nice. We have the beautiful seats, like I mentioned before. It's got the Nappa leather with the really cool pattern and the beautiful just details of that diamond pattern. Oh, and we have this cup holders. So that's cool. We have that big pane, that panoramic roof. I guess it's not even a sunroof really because it doesn't open, but so it's nice and light and bright back here, which feels really good. It kind of makes you forget that it is quite so small. So the thing to remember about the Polestar is it doesn't have a power button. So you just get in and put the car in gear and you're ready to go. I have been wanting to tell you all about the benefit of one pedal driving in the slick weather. Now this has been a hallmark of this week with the Polestar 2, that when you're driving on these crazy roads full of slush and ice and snowpack, if you slam on the brakes, the car slides and will come to a stop. My foot has been on the brake the whole time. But now if I do the one pedal driving and I press the pedal down and I accelerate, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need to stop here. I lift up. My foot is totally off of the accelerator. The car comes to a stop. There's no sliding. There's no drama. There's no mayhem. It's fantastic. So it does mean that you do need to be paying attention and anticipating the weather and what's going on in your driving conditions, but it's been kind of a revelation. It's been fun to put that into practice this whole week. I absolutely love the blinker noise. I hope you do too. I hope you can hear it. So we're just gonna get out a little bit and drive around and see if I can show you some of these driver assist systems. All right, so I'm taking it pretty easy on the accelerator, but if I punch it, you can see we're not lacking in that wild, unbridled EV power that's so fun and so compelling. Okay, so now we're here. I don't have a whole lot of cars coming and going, so I'm gonna engage the adaptive cruise control and show you how this works. So we put this on, and it actually sets it. When you turn it on, you can adjust it with your steering wheel controls. And then when you want to do the lane keep assist and the steer assist, you press that button. And so now I have pilot assist, and I don't know if you can see, but my little icon is lit up yellow. So if I try to drift, so I'm driving, and it will tell me to keep my hands on the steering wheel, but it's staying within the speed limit and it's staying within the lines. You can see that it's moving the car to keep it centered in the lane. And sometimes the difference between what I think is the center of the lane and what the car thinks is the center of the lane is a little different. See, so I can still move the car on my own, but it'll kind of fight with me a little bit about what I want to correct, which is what it's supposed to do. But if I'm just kind of feeling like my center of the lane feels a little bit different than the car's center of the lane, that might be a little bit of control issue work you'll have to do with your Polestar 2. So I don't like driving with it when the weather's not good, and I would imagine that Polestar would recommend you not use the Pro Pilot or the Pilot Assist in bad weather. What I do love about the Polestar, at first I was frustrated. I couldn't find my happy spot with the seating position, but once I got that dialed in, it's been good to go. I had to just fidget around a bit and play around a bit to find the right spot. And that's been a joy, because I'm telling you, you can be in this car all day long. It's really comfortable. There's just some mild bolstering in the seat, and there is some lumbar support, which makes it super easy to be in. Now, do know if you are using the one pedal driving and you take your foot off of that really fast, it'll maybe slide a little bit and you'll hear those anti-lock brakes going, but it seems to be way more effective than just slamming on the brakes and hoping that the anti-lock brakes kick in fast enough for you. So y'all, I hope that you've enjoyed this tour of the Polestar 2 with me. It's been great fun to test it out in these crazy circumstances, and I hope it's provided a little bit of clarity about what you can expect from an EV in the winter time, but also to show you that true luxury really exists in an electric vehicle.